I wish my college years went by as fast as Marie's. Just sleep for half a year like I don't have any responsibilities or things to do. As the first Atelier game, Gust nailed the cozy and laid-back atmosphere of this series from the beginning. As someone who's only played the newer titles before this, Atelier Marie is a good prototype for what would become a long-running franchise. They have over 20 games, I didn't even know this. There's not much to digest in this title since it's a very old and open-ended game. The story has no traditional structure and no particular rush to complete objectives. The opening cinematic sets the tone as a slice-of-life game, and the gameplay and presentation reflects it as such as well. Enjoying the everyday, synthesizing, learning about your allies, and exploring new gathering areas is the gameplay loop with a very generous time frame of 5 flippin' years to enjoy your time in the town of Salburg. 5 years does sound like a lot because it is, both in the real world and in this game. For me, it seemed intimidating at first given how every action and decision you make passes time. Marie gathers one plant, passes time, fights one pony, passes time, opens a door, passes time, defeats the demon lord, passes time. However, I found that there's so little to do that I had roughly 3 spare years at the end of my first playthrough, with the only last function I didn't complete being the friendships because they're actually the most boring metric to grind. Atelier Marie does have a main goal, which is to create any rank 6 or higher synthesized item within your 5 years at the academy. Now, a 5-year deadline for any capstone project is actually insane because I would probably still procrastinate into the last 6 months, but even if you have the worst time management abilities, it's rather impossible to fail this one task, as by simply playing the game and fulfilling tavern requests, you will eventually synthesize at least one high-level item. Or you can just buy a mega bomb from Flair's shop and win the game. I just thought of that now. I bet Ingrid didn't think of that. Based on your performance by the end of the year, you will receive one of 7 endings, which is honestly the biggest negative of this game. Not the endings themselves, but rather the hierarchy in which one you get. You don't get to select which ending you get even if you meet several ending requirements, and NG Plus doesn't exactly enable getting a different or new ending, so you would have to set up the ending requirements strategically in your first playthrough to view them all in one save file. It wasn't a big deal for me since I tend to play games as many times as necessary to see and do everything, but I understand that most players typically only play a game once and then they stop when the credits roll. For a remake, adding this quality of life would have been a betterment. There's only a couple of other minor negatives that I have about the game before I quickly talk about its strengths, and then we're out of here. First of all, friendship. Leveling up by 1 point is questionable game design. The market in June is your only chance to gain 20 extra points with your lowest ally, which is a nice catch-up mechanic when you have 9 allies to max. Not including Shea, of course, because she's already maxed and she's best girl. The only other negative that I have is specific enemy spawns. The bandit leader is an incredibly rare enemy after defeating Schwalbe at the Meyer Cave. He can actually spawn on different roads on extremely rare occasions, but I've only encountered him once. And don't even get me started on the gold pony. This enemy took me 2 years of road traveling between Strudel Falls and back to encounter it as an enemy and not the minigame. I've never spent 2 years grinding a single thing in my life, but now I have. So that's great. But that's all the bad, which wasn't so bad given I played the game 10 times. Yeah, don't ask. In fact, I really enjoyed a lot of the gameplay and events in the world of Salburg. The world felt alive and unique with every day I step into town, a friendship event or seasonal event would occur. I played Ryza 1 and 2, and I always believed that these overworld events are the core strength of the Atelier franchise, as they create an atmosphere of everyday life in a video game without pushing a direct narrative of goal-orientedness. Marie unfortunately doesn't have many events given the scope and content is quite small, but the quality is certainly there, focusing on your allies' backstories and what brings them to Salburg. The art style is very cute and detailed, reminding me of old slice-of-life fantasy anime that I watched. Every character looks like a flippin' Nendoroid, and you can tell that a lot of care has been put into remaking every asset from the environments to the animations. But that's all I have to say about Atelier Marie, the first Alchemist. A lot of good ideas came from this title, which created a long-lasting franchise. So keep it up, Gust. I'll eventually catch up to your entire catalog. Just give me 5 years.